Hi, Patrick here, Have Cheetah Will View. It's Wednesday, which means I'm slightly late with my Tubi Tuesday. But we'll get here and we'll get into it. Because we're doing also Polonia week. It's been a busy week on the channel. We've done interviews. Of course, the Midnight Society is kicking it on Sundays. So I'm doing a Polonia week. That's an extra video. Plus, I did Dollar Tree Theater, which I haven't done in a couple of weeks. So I'm a little behind, but I'm here, ready to catch up. As you know, who've been following Tubi Tuesday, I've been following, watching and reviewing a short-run series from 1989 called A Man Called Hawk, which starred Avery Brooks. You might know him as Benjamin Sisko on Deep Space Nine or Spencer for Hire, which this show is a spin-off of. So we are at episode 5 of a 13-episode run for A Man Called Hawk. And the episode we'll be looking at today is called The Divided Child. So the synopsis says, the Kilpatricks hire Hawk to protect their family after the attempted kidnapping of their son. Hawk's job is made harder when their son tries to understand why a kidnapping attempt was made. Sort of right. The synopses are always sort of right. So this is probably the best episode as far as dialogue and storyline goes since the pilot. And it's a good story. It does open up with a young boy and his mom are at a grocery store shopping. The mom seems to have her head on a swivel for trouble, and while she lets her little boy go and look at the comic books while she shops, she's also being aware of her surroundings. And sure enough, she starts seeing some suspicious people. So she went and she grabs her son and she looks it outside the store, and they're trying to stop her, but she manages to get away. It looks like they were trying to kidnap the boy. And so they reach out to, this couple reaches out and secures Hawk's services and tells them that the father used to work down in South America, helping out what they call the lower 5 in South America with telecommunications equipment, selling them equipment. He doesn't have any ties to anybody down there. He's just selling equipment, and of course, sometimes the equipment went to the wrong side. Well, anyway, after that, they decided to come back home to Boston, so they came back with their son, and now we're seeing that many attempts are being made on this family, threats, kidnapping, and even when Hawk's there, they try to shoot up the house. So this is really intense, and Hawk says he agrees to help them, but he also wants to know what's going on because he feels there's something underlying here other than just a simple trying to kidnap, and especially when they start emptying Uzis in a bedroom. He finds out that there's a known terrorist from Colombia or Bolivia that has made his way to the United States, and they don't know what he's after or why, but all they know is that he's up here and that the reward for him is $1 million. Hawk knows that his contact isn't quite telling him everything, and he mentions that. He then helps the family, talks to the boy. They take him to a safe house run by Hawk's friend, who appeared to be a boxing trainer, but we find out that he's probably CIA. Hawk trusts him implicitly in the house. They have a safe house. So things get really tense, and then Hawk finds out the truth. There's not just one group after this boy, but there's two. But they're after them for very different reasons. And that's where we'll leave it at. Good synopsis. Good episode. A couple of things I did not really particularly care for in this episode The weakness was the gunplay was terrible in this episode. Not the fact there was a lot of it, but it was so poorly done. I think that this was probably because of ABC. They probably wanted less victims during the 8 o'clock hour, so while there's a lot of gunplay, there's a lot of A-teams too. The original stormtroopers, right? Because nobody ever died on the A-team. I guess they were former stormtroopers. Well, anyway, there's a lot of gunplay here, but only one person gets it, and they cut it way down. Of course, Hawk's 357 Python is featured, and it's a badass gun. It's impractical, but it's still badass, and I love the effect they use for it. It sounds like a damn howitzer. But the guest cast on this show is very notable, very notable. It starred Mark Metcalf as Mr. Kilpatrick, the father, a good man just trying to do his best for his family. You might remember Mark Metcalf. He played Niedermeyer in Animal House. Yep, and you know what? He's actually very good here. He's very good here. Very strong. Very restrained. None of that Niedermeyer. You hear his voice. I mean, once you hear his voice, if you know, you're taken back. But he plays a father, and he plays a good role. And the other role of note is the mother, Mrs. Kilpatrick, played by two-time Oscar nominee Mary McDonnell. Now, you might remember Mary McDonnell. She was she got her claim to fame was that she started in Dancing with Wolves. I think She Who Stands with Fists. So, yeah, that's a pretty good cast for a show. And of course, precursors are for Mark Metcalf, this came after Animal House, and for Mary McDonnell, this came before Dances with Wolves and her climb to fame. There's things you find out a little bit more about Hawk. We find out that he really does have carte blanche. He must know so many secrets, because he's never stopped. He's never questioned about anything. They just implicitly trust him. We also find out too that he knows Spanish, enough to get by. I don't think he's fluent, but he knows enough to communicate with the young boy, and they talk Spanish. And so it's another layer of the character that's shown, that he's now multilingual. He's also been shown already to know sign language, and now American Sign Language. Now he's being shown that he knows Spanish, so he appears to be multilingual. That's an interesting aspect of the character. One that's not covered in the book. So in some respects, this is a better character development of the character Hawk in the TV show than Parker did in the books. Which is a shame, because it would have been really cool if he had actually done that, or if any Spencer author now would do that, to go back and write a book strictly on Hawk's origin, because as far as I know, it's never been done. Though the Spencer books continue today, the series is going on even today, even over 30 years after this series came out. So it tells you how long Spencer's been in the public eye. He's been I think the first Spencer book came out in 1973. So 50 years of Spencer. Next year, I think. So anyway, this is an excellent episode, one of my favorites. Star power, good storyline. Avery Brooks, outstanding as always. Including some great dialogue. Holy crow, some really dialogue. And again, I want to emphasize this. I do not believe that Avery Brooks read off of a script as much as he improvised. I really don't. I don't think there was a script for him, and there might have been an outline for him to do it, but a lot of his language and how he uses it just screams improv, and it's outstanding. All right, well, that's it for episode 5. Episode 5 of A Man Called Hawk, Divided Child. We'll be back next week with this episode number 6. Oh my gosh, are we already getting to the halfway point already? I've been enjoying this series. I hope you have been too. Those who have watched it. The series is on Tubi, so you can watch this for free with a minimum ad placement. Highly recommended. Tubi is a free streaming service, and it has tons of old shows that you can catch up on, along with a lot of new and recent movies. So yeah, if you're into streaming, highly recommend Tubi. All right, folks, that's it for me and the Cheetah. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much for watching, and go ahead, if you're new to the channel, please hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. Please hit that notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Talk to you soon. Peace.